I welcome you to this session of ISO 14001-2015, and today we are going to talk about clause number 10.2, and this is subclause 10.2, non-conformity and corrective action, under clause number 10, improvement. So as usual, first of all, I'll read out the requirement to you as given in the standard. Clause number 10.2, non-conformity and corrective action. When a non-conformity occurs, the organization shall A. react to the non-conformity and as applicable, A and B, there are 2 points. Number 1 is take action to control and correct it. And number 2 is deal with consequences, including mitigating adverse environmental impacts. And B is evaluate the need for action to eliminate the causes of the nonconformity in order that it does not recur or occur elsewhere by reviewing there are 3 points in this. Number 1, by reviewing the nonconformity. Number 2, determining the causes of the nonconformity. And number 3, determining if similar nonconformities exist or could potentially occur. C, implement any action needed. D, review the effectiveness of any corrective action taken. E, make changes to the environmental management system if necessary. And there is a para next to this. Corrective actions shall be appropriate to the significance of the effects of the nonconformities encountered, including the environmental impacts. The organization shall retain documented information as evidence of, there are 2 points in this, the nature of the nonconformities and any subsequent action taken. And next is the result of any corrective actions. So that's all in this particular clause, and now let us discuss the details in more detail. A slightly longer clause. Anyway, let us discuss it. So, clause number 10, improvement, subclause number 10.2, non-conformity and corrective action. Well, as you are aware, after each internal audit, we are supposed to analyze the reasons for the non-conformity. So when a non-conformity occurs, the organization shall A. react to the non-conformity and as applicable, take action to control and correct it. So we are supposed to control the non-conformity and take action to correct it. Now please understand here that there are basically two actions we are supposed to be taking against the nonconformity. One is the correction and the second one is corrective action. Correction is to correct the situation at that point of time so that the nonconformity does not exist anymore. But the corrective action is, that was correction which I told you. Now the corrective action is that we take action so that the nonconformity will not happen again. I'll give you a simple example. Suppose it's an example from quality management. It doesn't matter, the things are similar in environmental management and quality management. So the example is that suppose you are traveling in your car and the hose pipe of the car bursts on the way. Now what will happen? Your car will heat up and stop. So your car has stopped working. It has become non-conforming. So non-conformity has occurred. Now we have to take corrective correction. We have to do the correction here. That means call the automobile man or the mistri and ask him to replace the hose pipe which has burst due to excessive heat. So the hose pipe can be replaced and then fill in the coolant again and start your vehicle. The vehicle will start and the system will start working as usual because the hose pipe is able to provide you the circulation of water around the engine. So the engine will not heat up and you will be able to drive the car. So this is the correction which you have done. But it will not stop the car from stopping again after some time because the same thing may happen again. So what we should do is we have to take corrective action. Corrective action means we have to go deeper into the cause of the non-conformity and find out why it happened. Well, it happened because perhaps the car was not serviced regularly and therefore because it was not serviced, the hose pipe had developed cracks and on the way while we were driving, it leaked. So what is the corrective action? Corrective action is that we should get our vehicle serviced regularly. That means if we service our vehicle regularly and if the hose pipe is having any crack, during the service the hose pipe will be replaced. And it will not happen suddenly that your car stops on the way. It will never stop. So you have taken the correction so that your car will not stop in future while you are driving on the way. So there is a difference between correction and corrective action. Correction was immediately replacing the hose pipe and filling the coolant again, starting the car, and you are ready to go. That was correction. You have corrected the situation at that point of time. But it is not the corrective action. Corrective action is to ensure that the car is serviced regularly at regular intervals. And if it is serviced at regular intervals, the hose pipe will not burst because the bad condition of the hose pipe will be detected during the servicing itself. So that is the corrective action. So there is a difference between the two actions, correction and corrective action. And we are supposed to take both the actions because we can't be stuck up on the way. So we have to do the correction and then also take the corrective action. That means send the car for servicing so that next time it does not happen. Okay, so I hope you have understood the difference between these two actions. And here the point number 1 was take action to control and correct it. So we have done the correction and taken control of the car. And number 2 is deal with the consequences, including mitigating adverse environmental impacts. If there are any adverse environmental impacts, then we should ensure that we take action to reduce those environmental impacts. So this has got to be done. Now, reducing the environmental impacts, let us not try to relate it to the car, but in general, if a non-conformity is found and we have to deal with the consequences, including reducing the adverse environmental impacts. Well, we have to see what environmental impacts are happening and try to reduce them. Okay, now let us go to B. Evaluate the need for action to eliminate the causes of the nonconformity in order that it does not recur or occur elsewhere by reviewing the nonconformity. Now, here we are trying to uh, look at the root cause of the nonconformity, why it happened. So, reviewing the nonconformity, determining the causes of the nonconformity, why it happened at all. So, we have to look at the root cause of the nonconformity and determine if similar nonconformities exist or could potentially occur. If similar situations could occur elsewhere, we have to ensure that we stop that situation. So that will happen by ensuring that we review the nonconformity and try to find out the root cause and remove the root cause so that the nonconformity will not happen again. Okay, now let us go to C. Implement any actions needed. So, any action needed, that means the corrective action needed has to be taken. And D is review the effectiveness of any corrective action taken. So, we have to ensure that we review the effectiveness of the corrective action. Corrective action has got to be taken so that the non-conformity will not happen again. And believe me, if you take the corrective action effectively, then the non-conformity will not happen again. And E is make changes to the environmental management system if necessary. So we have to review the entire thing and make changes to the environmental system. That means the way we are working on the process or the way we are creating the products or services. We have to look at that, and if we have to change the methodology or change the process, we should do that so that we take the corrective action in a correct manner and ensure that nonconformity will not repeat itself. Now, next para says, corrective action shall be appropriate to the significance of the effects of the nonconformities encountered, including the environmental impacts. So we have to ensure that the corrective action is appropriately taken and it is in conformity with the it is according to the effect of the nonconformity encountered, including the environmental impacts. If any environmental impact is happening, we have to ensure that we stop that. And the last line says, the organization shall retain documented information as evidence of number one, nature of the nonconformities and any subsequent actions taken. So we have to record all that, whatever we have done to the nonconformity, and the results of any corrective action. So whatever corrective action we have taken, what have been the results of that corrective action. So a record has got to be maintained so that the entire situation can be reviewed by the top management at appropriate time, maybe during the management review or during the review of the results of the internal audit. So that's all in this class. It was a slightly longer class, but I hope you have understood the requirement fully and completely. And if you are liking my videos, please give me a thumbs up, give me a like, and also share my videos with your friends and colleagues. And also, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel and also press the bell icon so that as and when I load my video, the information regarding loading of the video will reach you without any delay. You will be able to see my video. And thank you very much for watching my videos, and we meet on next Sunday, and we shall be discussing the next clause on next Sunday. Bye. See you.